Hey everyone, I'm here today because I would like to discuss a topic regarding emotional support animals and service dogs. I've been asked a lot recently about what the difference is between a service dog and an emotional support animal. So, the main differences between an emotional support animal and a service dog is that a service dog is trained to perform a specific task. So, for example, you might see a person in a wheelchair who is trying to get through a door or trying to maneuver around different furniture through a building, and the service dog will be there to perform a task of pulling them along or guiding them through and maneuvering through the situation. Another situation would be a service dog would be there to perform a task to go get someone's medication. So they might go and get medication where someone can't bend down to pick up their medication, can't get to their medication, certain things like that. The dog will be able to pick up and support that person in those situations that they can't do on their own. An emotional support animal, however, is not trained to perform a specific task. They are actually not trained to do anything at all. They don't have to have a certain certification to be an emotional support animal. They just simply have to be there to provide exactly that, emotional support. So, for example, someone that might be dealing with depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, the emotional support animal is there to help just comfort the person. So, an emotional support animal, another difference between emotional support animal and a service dog is that an emotional support animal can be any animal. It can be a bird, it can be a cat, it can be a dog, it can be a guinea pig, it can be really any animal at all. It just has to simply be there and help you feel better. So, what is the main difference between a service dog and an emotional support animal and the laws regarding the two? Well, there's actually a huge difference. An emotional support animal cannot go anywhere and everywhere like a service dog. So if you see an emotional support animal in a restaurant, that's a big no-no. An emotional support animal is actually only governed by the Fair Housing Act and the Access Carrier Act. The two help guide and govern an emotional support animal and the people and their owners and their handlers through situations that they need these animals and the emotional support the most. So somebody that has anxiety flying on an airplane or being alone in an airplane or being alone in an apartment or housing situation by themselves or something that makes them nervous or depressed, an emotional support animal would be good for those situations. So what the Fair Housing Act governs for emotional support animal is the fact that if you are in a no housing facility, where a no pet housing facility, if you're in that situation, then an emotional support animal would be able to live with you in those situations. A few examples of those situations would be a nursing home where an animal is not allowed or permitted. Another situation would be a college dorm room, some housing, some apartments, situations like that, or a landlord situation where you're renting a house where a landlord will not allow an animal on the premises to live with you. So those are the main housing situations. So another situation with the Access Carrier Act with the airplanes is that the animal can fly with you in the cabin. It does not have to be put down in the below the plane or below the seat. It can actually be in the airplane with you. So, how would you get this emotional support animal, or how would you be able to have this emotional support animal with you? So, the first thing that you would want to do is, if you think that you are a person that is in need of an emotional support animal, is contact a local mental health provider. Those mental health providers will be able to provide evaluations and determine that you have a need for an emotional support animal. Through that evaluation, they will be able to provide you with a written letter stating that you have a need for an emotional support animal. Now, this letter is a big difference between a service dog and an emotional support animal. With a service dog, you do not have to prove or show a letter up for a service dog. No one can ask you for this letter with a service dog. But with an emotional support animal, people may ask what that animal is there for or why you need the animal. So with the letter, you will be able to provide your landlord with this letter stating that you have been evaluated by a mental health professional, and this mental health professional has deemed that you have a need for an emotional support animal. So you will be able to have that letter as well for flying on an airplane. You will be able to show the airline that you have a need and you have been evaluated. So those are the main differences between an emotional support animal and a service dog. So I hope that this helps clarify a little bit of information about the differences between what a service dog is and what an emotional support animal is and what they are not. So the main differences between the two. So I hope that this helps with everything. If you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to call our office. We do the evaluations on site, and you can call and schedule an appointment, or you can call and ask any questions, get more information. Our phone number is 407-699-5824. We look forward to working with you and helping you and assisting you in any of the needs that you have.